Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. So, in this particular live stream, just like I mentioned before, we're going to use only foreign language. In this case, this is going to be English. We had this topic previously on Monday, even though I had some difficulties, and I would say those were essential troubles, serious problems that I went through during the week because I tore my last Saturday, I had torn my tendon. So I'm walking again. I walk really, really slowly. So it takes a while. It took a while for me to get, to put all these things in order and, basically go back to the work. Anyway, let's get started. So in our today's conversation in this podcast, I just call it a podcast, even though this is a live stream in the form of live stream. We're going to make a podcast. Why? Because we already had this topic on Monday. So I streamed on Monday, and technically this topic is already discussed, right? It's done. But I promised you guys that I'm going to live stream every Monday, and then I'm gonna upload another podcast. But since it wasn't really convenient this time to record in, just an audio file independently, I've decided to make another live stream. And technically, this is a live stream with the same topic, but now it's going to be shortened a little bit. But at the same time, for those of you who are practicing English, you can practice this with me right now. If you have questions, just leave your questions here in the comment section, and I'm gonna see them, read them, and probably answer to some of them. So, let's get started. So the topic is how to get rid of your accent, if you have any accent, how to get rid of any English accent, Russian accent, any accent. This something that people that we call native speakers of English, such as people in America, such as people in Canada or in the UK or Australia. So, to all of them, you are non-native speakers, right? Non-native speakers means that your mother tongue is not English. So, in this case, an accent can be a problem, especially to some of us who are going to work with lots of people, right? With big amounts of people, large amounts of people, when we are having accents, so people are going to, you know, point it out in some way, and sometimes those could be awkward situations. So let's get started. How to get rid of your accent? Is this a problem? Is this going to be a problem in future? And what are those options that you may have later on if you're going to keep your accent and not going to change anything? Well, maybe if it is going to be a problem or not, we're going to discuss this as well. So, a few segments, few main parts of our today's conversation here are as follows. So, part one. Are there any, hang on, so this is in Russian, let me translate it to English. So these are варианты акцентов английского языка. Может ли вы отличить английский от американского? Right. So first and foremost, right? Those types of English accents and of English accent, and can you distinguish, for example, American, English, British, Australian, maybe there's New Zealand as well. So, can you distinguish two most important two major accents of English? That would be American accent and British accent, right? For example, let me just give you something. If I'd say a phrase such as "I'm working here every day," or "I'm walking here every day," I'm walking here every day because I'm a walker. I'm an employer. So I've been employed by this company. Therefore, I'm going to be walking here every single day. Or I've been employed, right? I have been hired by this company. I'm going to work here every day. So obviously, guys, to those of you who can distinguish, so give me a like, leave a comment. If you can distinguish, then you're good. All right. But of course, the one pronunciation type that contains a lot of, let's say, highlighted, obvious, right? This clear R. that is at that sounds at every single word that contains R. So this is, of course, we could say more like seems more like an American version, right? So working, that would be American. Walking would be British. Gosh, my phone. Okay, so these are some accents. So just mentioning these accents, we know that there are many accents of English. I'm talking about native speakers. In small UK, in the UK, there's northern accent and there's southern accent and northern accent. Southern accent is Londonese accent, right? And etc. In America, even in New York, there's Brooklyn accent, right? So there's a South American accent, right? In California, in Los Angeles, this area, and north of northern parts of the USA, right? There are differences here, there as well. So, okay, this one is clear. So the next part here is с каким акцентом говорю я, как я переключаюсь. So what is my accent and how do I switch from one to another accent? Well, first off, I got to be frank with you. It totally depends on people that I'm going to be interacting with. So to those who sound more like British or they are from the Great Britain, then I'm gonna speak with British accent. With those who are from America, from the USA, from Canada, I'm gonna sound more like them. So it means that I'm gonna speak with American accent. So I do this all the time, and this is just it just happens naturally, just automatically switch that just works in my brain, and this is just how it works. I couldn't say that I totally appreciate it. Yeah, I think yes, I really appreciate. I like this function of my brain. So this ability that I can switch, and sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. For example, if I'm not willing to switch from let's say to British accent and I'm still be using American accent, and when I'm talking to British guys, so they might think that okay, I'm from the USA, probably maybe Canada, but later on, well, turns out no, right? And the same story goes for Americans or Canadians. When I still stay with the stick to British accent, and then they think that okay, I probably I'm either from the UK, maybe Australia, and etc. So it's just fun thing to do. Okay, this is about me. What else should we point out right here? So, всем, кто добавится в VK группу, еще раз говорю, ребят, вам что, напишите мне, хочу разобраться, и в ВКонтакте или в Инстаграме, и я проведу для вас бесплатную онлайн-консультацию по определению вашей ситуации по английскому языку, по вашему произношению. All right, this is enough with this is just an ad, right? Реклама. This is an ad, this is an ad. The next one here is наличие или отсутствие акцента. Говорить как носитель языка, талант и упорство. Well, of course, these factors are incredibly important. Well, if you have an accent, if you don't have an accent, what positive moments would be if you have a talent to good pronunciation, for good pronunciation, etc., and your persistence, your hard work, amount of hard work, and your talent. If you have both, obviously, we can say that if you're a hardworking person, if you're a talented person at the same time, you have this hearing ability, right? You just accept a new language, and it just works so well for you because you are obviously going to be a very, very successful. But at the same time, we could say that not everybody has enough amount, let's say, amount of talent that is required to be for you to be like a native, right? Unfortunately, yes, of course, most of us do not have those talents. And what should we do? Well, there's such thing called persistence and hard work, right? So those things are incredibly important, and those things can polish, can change, can apply some, adjustments onto your progress, onto your situation, and you definitely can sound afterwards better. We couldn't say that you would be perfect 100%. The others, Americans, they wouldn't be able to distinguish you from the others. They would say you sound like one of the natives, one of the locals. You say, Of course, no, it's not going to work like that. So to those who do not have great talent to good pronunciation, no, unfortunately, they will never be like native speakers, speak like native speakers. But they can be close. They can change their pronunciation in the way in the way of what? Let's say when they would be just, let's say, not that hard tongued people, right? They would be just no, there wouldn't be those obvious foreigners, right? With those obvious Russian, Turkish, maybe some Eastern Europeans, let's say, right? You guys wouldn't be the ones of those, because your pronunciation can be fixed. It cannot be entirely great, but it can be fixed. So it means that we can change it, and your result will be it will depend on your hard work and amount of acceptance. Acceptance is very important, because it's just why this is important, because you got to be able to accept this new new words, new sounds. Well, first off, new sounds, and at the same time, adjust your tongue, your throat, your this sound producing apparatus in order to sound different. Otherwise, of course, we know those people who speak great English, but at the same time, they have terrible accent, right? For example, Yuri Duch, right, or some other, let's say, Varlamov, right? Ilya Varlamov. So all these guys, of course, they speak English, yes, but they have terrible accent. And so their accent is Russian accent, right? Obviously, really, really, um, we could say, uh, um, well, harsh, tough conditions at the same time. Many things to say. Frankly speaking, many things to say. Maybe I should make an independent video about them and analyze some famous people and the way they pronounce English words. And yeah, maybe that would be a good idea. I think that would be a good idea. The next one, guys. The next one. So this correction. So the topic here is. Wait a second. By the way, question to you guys: if you have experience when your teacher, your tutor, whoever it was at school, or maybe you hired someone to help you with English, if you have that kind of experience when your teachers, maybe your partners, language partners, those who helped you with English, if they try to change your pronunciation, let me know in the comment section below. That would be quite interesting to hear about. And okay, and maybe, by the way, you try to correct your teacher. This is also important and incredibly surprising, could be, for a teacher, right? If you correct a teacher, that is great. If you had that kind of experience, please let me know in the comment section here. This is part 4, and корректировка произношения при отсутствии большого таланта. Yes, this is what I just said previously. And here we need to point out some instruments, right? Some ways, methods. How can we influence, right? What kind of influence we can create? And there are, of course, there's a number of things that we can apply here. Well, first off, there are various tongue twisters. First off, tongue twisters are tongue twister is a great, absolutely great tool that helps us with pronunciation. And if you have a good teacher that helps you, or some kind of assistance, right, that helps you with the pronunciation, correct pronunciation, you can significantly improve your pronunciation in many different ways. By the way, music is also a good helper, and singing, right, the way that people sing songs. Well, this is just great. Listen to music, practice it, sing it all the time. Try to choose songs from English native speakers, and this is some kind of guarantee that your pronunciation will be better. But at the same time, if you are going to hear some English songs written and sang by Russian singers, this is still a good idea. Still a good idea. But just be careful. Be careful with your choice. So you got to choose someone with good pronunciation. All right, but at the same time, look. For example, there's Sergei Lazarev, right? For example, he has a lot of English songs, and sometimes you might think that actually his pronunciation is pretty good. And I thought that actually his pronunciation is pretty good when he's singing. But then I figured when I heard him speaking English a few times, trying to give some kind of interview, I think, and in those interviews he was speaking English, and his English is actually not good, and he has an accent, and his English is not really good. But yeah, he's able to speak English, but no, his English is not good at all. Pretty good, but not excellent. Right, okay. Then постановка произношения как можно раньше. Right, this is a very, very, very important fact, guys, because when we are working with languages, and especially when we want our kids to learn any language, well, as early as possible. For kids, it works absolutely great when a young kid starts any foreign language, and his pronunciation will be absolutely gorgeous, great, absolutely great. If the kid, as I said, as early as possible is going to start a language, then his or her pronunciation would be absolutely great. So this is just a fact, as early as possible. And of course, well, the right teacher must be in those classes, right? Otherwise, bad pronunciation at the beginning will lead to bad pronunciation later on. Yep. And later on, it's something that is so difficult to change. Okay. Okay. And by the way, sometimes I see those ads. I see even here in VK, in our district, I see those ads. Some teachers that are going to arrange classes, or they had already arranged some classes with kids, with adults. They rent some, little rooms, little offices, right? And then they start working. They have students. They gathered some classes. It's great, absolutely great. But when I hear them speaking English, when I hear their students speaking English, oh gosh, that is just, it's just my ears are in pain, it's just crazy because I hear this bad pronunciation, but I'm not going to leave some comments, let them work. But I understand that they're just trying to make living, right? But this is bad when the teacher has a, bad pronunciation, bad result for students as well. This is not good. All right, a conclusion right here we have to make. An accent, of course, is not a problem. I'm going to read this in Russian, then we'll translate it into English. Акцент — это не проблема для людей в бизнесе и простом общении. Но когда речь идет о полноценной интеграции в общество, карьера актера или ведущего, или кого угодно, работающего с людьми, нужно, конечно же, в этом случае говорить чисто. So, meaning what? An accent, of course, is not a big problem when you simply want to use English for any sort of business, or just for any regular, talk, right? Communication with the others, basically. But at the same time, we know that if it comes to, right, if our conversation, if the situation in a life situation is going to be about a complete integration into a foreign, the foreign society, right? For example, we're talking about some British society, going to go live in London, or some, I don't know, in Brisbane, or I don't know, somewhere, Sydney, New York, etc. So obviously, if you're going to make a good career, especially career in some kind of public relations, or being an actor or a singer, etc., basically working with people, right? All those activities, all those sorts of work, they of course require good pronunciation without, strong accent. So this is a fact. Yeah, and I guess that is going to be the end here. And I just want to say that if you guys want to get this free class with me, well, where I'm going to check your pronunciation, and I'm going to give you good advices about your pronunciation, your level, what you should change, maybe adjust something in a way, etc. Well, of course, you can go to our VK and join our community. Of course, you can also message me directly in this community or in VK or in Instagram, and just say something about pronunciation. I have a problem, I gotta change something, etc. Let me know, and I will certainly try my best to find time and give it to you in order to have a proper online class with you. And yeah, I teach English and Chinese language. Welcome to my classes. Maybe for some of you, I will find some time. Well, let me know about that as well in VK or in Instagram. You can message me directly. You can leave a comment here. I'm gonna give you a link, etc. And all information you can find in our description box below this below this live stream, below this video. And if there is any question, of course, you can leave in the comment section below. And probably this is going to be it. I hope that was useful for you guys. And till next time, till next live stream, there will be another one tomorrow. And we're going to talk about, again, something incredibly useful, practical. Well, I'll see you later, guys. Stay awesome, stay cool, and have a good time and have a good night. This is Sunday. Today, it's Sunday. I'll see you later, guys. Stay awesome. 我们大家说，下次见，下次见。再见了，朋友，再见吧，再见吧，再见吧。如果我在梦中醒时。